How's it going, everybody? This is Steve, aka Steam Ninja, and welcome to my channel. So tonight I want to talk about 4 new titles I have from Criterion. Actually, 3 are brand new and 1 is used. And before I get started, I do want to talk about, mention Ken from Mid-Little Media. He's actually doing a Criterion month on his channel, and he's helping support other YouTubers. And this is part 3 of my video. I actually forgot to mention him last week, which was kind of disappointed I didn't put it in my notes to mention him. But so the first movie I want to talk about is one that I've seen a lot of people on YouTube purchase recently, and it was recently released on 4K. This is actually my first 4K from Criterion that I purchased. But the movie is Double Indemnity. This was released in 1944. It's spine number 1126 and runs 108 minutes. This movie is directed by Billy Wilder. It's actually the first movie I purchased from him. And it's actually starring Fred McMurray, whom I've never seen him in anything except for the TV show My Three Sons, which I watched when I was a kid, through reruns. I think that show ran from like 1960 to 1972. But that's the only thing I've ever seen him in. He was great on that show. But the movie also has Barbara Stanwyck, whom I've heard a lot of people talk about her over the years. The second movie is actually, like I said, another blind buy, and this was actually released in 1984, so it's 40 years after the first one I talked about. But it's spine number 501, and it runs 147 minutes, and the movie is Paris, Texas. This is one that's starring Harry Dean Stanton, has Dean Stockwell, it has Natasha Kinski, whom I found out she's actually the daughter of Klaus Kinski. Have you ever seen Nosferatu the Vampire or the Vampire? He was her father, and I've read some things about how she grew up, and she wasn't close to her father at all, sadly. But as far as the movie itself, the movie is directed by Wim Wenders, and he's a German director. I'm not exactly sure why he was contacted to direct this, because it's filmed in Los Angeles and Texas, obviously. But whatever reason, he speaks English, and he does a commentary on this as well, which I haven't heard. I haven't watched the commentary yet, but I really like this movie. It's a real slow build kind of thing. It's at first you're not really sure who Harry Dean Stanton's character is, and it kind of slowly builds up to the third act, which you find out everything there. And I thought Natasha Kinski was really great in this. I didn't know she was German. She has a great American accent in this, and it's really interesting how they kind of explain how they knew each other. I really like this. Like the movie, it's like 2 hours and 25 minutes, so it's a bit long, but I thought it was worth the build up to the end, to the third act. So I'd really recommend people check this out. So the last 2 movies are ones I actually owned on Blu-ray before, and I wanted to upgrade to Criterion. I'll kind of explain a little bit more, but this movie is The Grand Budapest Hotel, and it's directed by Wes Anderson. The great Wes Anderson, in my opinion. This movie was released in 2014. It's spine number 1025. It runs at 100 minutes. This is, like I said, this is one I had on Blu-ray before. It's one of those things where I bought it right after, right when it was released on Blu-ray, and then I don't know how long it was after that it was released on Criterion. But I thought, man, the one thing I didn't like about the Blu-ray originally was that it didn't have a commentary on it, which this one actually does have a commentary with Wes Anderson, and has a Jeff Goldblum's on it, and so that's really great, and has I think some more special features that the other Blu-ray didn't have. And this is actually my second favorite Wes Anderson movie, and I actually made a video before where I ranked my Wes Anderson movies, and you'll see why number 1 is number 1 on my list. But this one's a really close number 2, and really great. I love the cast to this. It has Ray Fiennes, F. Murray Abraham, whom was in Amadeus, and people let me know in the comments why that movie hasn't been released on Criterion yet, because I read like September of last year that movie was going to get released on Criterion, but it still hasn't. It's right now they're up to like today they announced what the October releases are, and that wasn't on it. So there's only 2 months left in the year where they're going to release new Criterions, and Amadeus hasn't been mentioned yet. So I'd really love to get that on Criterion, and so hopefully someday it will. But so this movie also has Adrian Brody, has Willem Dafoe, has Jeff Goldblum, like I mentioned, Jude Law, has Bill Murray, Also has Edward Norton, has several other famous people are in this as well. Wes Anderson tends to have a cast of people that love to be in all of his movies, and a lot of the same faces go because they love working for the guy. Apparently, love the way he writes, and his humor is very unique. It may not be for everybody, but I'm a huge Wes Anderson fan, so I love the humor. So the fourth movie is one that I like I said, I owned on Blu-ray before, and it's one I've always loved. It's released in 1987. The movie is The Princess Bride. This is spy number 948. It runs at 98 minutes. Directed by Rob Reiner, whom one time Rob Reiner did have a movie. This is Spinal Tap was on Criterion, and it was only released on DVD, and probably will never get released on Blu-ray. More than likely, I don't think the DVD's been out of print for quite a while, as far as I know. I don't. Maybe it will. Hopefully, it will someday. But I own that one on Blu-ray. I never bought the Criterion, but this movie has a great cast. I've always loved the mixing of genres in this movie. It has something for everybody. I think fairy tale, and I think about every it's a comedy. It has somewhat like a western element to it. A little bit of horror. It has everything. Something for everybody is in this movie. But it's starring Carrie Elways, has Robin Wright, whom used to be married to Sean Penn, has Mandy Patinkin, Chris Sarandon, he used to be married to Susan Sarandon, has Christopher Guest, whom was in This is Spinal Tap as well, Wallace Shawn, inconceivable, that guy, and of course it has the late great Andre the Giant in it, the pro wrestler, over like he's a 7-footer. Huge guy. I'm not really sure why he's in this movie necessarily, but he's great in it though. And I think he was having some serious back problems at the time, and said he couldn't even at the time couldn't even lift Robin Wright at the time. I guess that hurt his back so bad, and she barely weighed anything at the time, so he was having some serious back problems. And like I said, 1987, so he still wrestled for a few years after this, but. Like I said, I've always loved this movie. I think everybody should have it. If you don't have it on Criterion, you should own it on Blu-ray on some format. But I'm really excited to watch it on Criterion and see the picture quality on it. So really excited about that. I've been really excited this month seeing how everyone's subscribing to my channel, leaving me comments. I really love that. I love the Criterion community. Love how we all kind of share things together and share our movies together and kind of support each other, which I really love. So, and please put a like on this video and have a good night. Thank you. Bye.